I'm powering up. Hey, Braith, should we just start this episode with a cold open?
It's fitting. Ugh, snow. Cold.
I get it.
Hello and welcome to Everyone's a Critic, a show where I, Braith, and my best friend Jason review anything and everything and give it all our honest feedback.
Yeah, that's true. We are just on a mission to kind of review everything in the world,
Mm-hmm.
and we want to kind of ascribe a score to anything and everything, as you said.
The official score. Yes, absolutely.
Correct, Mundo.
This week we'll be covering a chili subject. Well, not the food chili.
Oh, I was getting hungry.
No, chili as in cold, but it's snow. We're going to be doing snow.
Oh, cool.
Have you seen snow before?
Not really.
Yeah, we live in San Francisco, California, and we don't see much snow out here. So we have to go on a bit of a drive to see it. I actually have been to the snow before.
Really?
Yep, gone snowboarding, got real hurt one time, and have not been back. Anyways, yeah, so snow is a thing that occurs in wintertime. When it's cold out, the rain will freeze. I don't know the exact details of it. We could look that up later, but it's real cold rain that's kind of hard.
It's really fascinating to be honest.
It's cool,
with you.
yeah.
It's kind of a miracle when you think about it. You have those clouds up there. They look lighter than air.
Uh-huh.
And you look like it almost looks like cotton candy. You could just eat it.
Yeah.
But for it to produce something that actually is hard is kind of a miracle
Right,
of
yeah.
God's creation.
If you were on, let's say, an airplane and you reached out the window to grab a cloud, you're not actually pulling up cotton candy, what it looks like, but that is going to be most likely snow
Yeah. And
or rain.
I have not personally ridden on a plane, but I've seen photos and I've seen like the episode of The Twilight Zone where the little guy is on the wing.
Mm-hmm. It's the scary one.
And I personally was not thinking about eating cotton candy at that moment. I was thinking, oh my gosh, this is scary.
Yeah. And I don't think it was that cloudy in that episode either.
Yeah, I mean, it was rainy, I think.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you would be pulling off rain. But yeah, so this is I've always loved the snow from media representations, and the one time I've been, it's kind of invokes a cozy feeling, like the winter time. You want to light a fire,
Sure.
have the snow fall down outside like a cabin window or something.
Not to cut you off, but let me tell you what it makes me think about.
Sure.
Whenever I think about snow, I'm thinking about Christmas time, the holidays, and drinking a cup of hot cocoa with the white, curtains coming down outside the window. But maybe curl up by a nice fire and read a book or something like that.
Sure, but just beyond those curtains, if you open them up, there's snow.
Well, it was a metaphor.
Okay. Well, yeah, so I love snow. You've never seen snow. I feel like for the episode to get a proper analysis, we should take a trip.
Yeah, I think that sounds like a good idea. I don't think it necessarily would be all right for me to give a fair evaluation without really experiencing it for myself.
Right.
So I fully agree. Why don't we take a look and see what we can do?
Okay, let's pack up. It's going to be roughly a 10-hour drive, so we will have to come back to this episode. We're not going to leave the cameras rolling on an empty set, but we'll get ready to go, and then we'll cut to the clip of when we actually make it to the snow.
In fact, maybe we don't really need to give like such a long intro to it. I think maybe the viewers will understand that probably we're going to be, after what we're going to do is probably shut down the cameras, probably pack up the gear. We're going to put the lens caps on just so that we don't get any kind of scratches in transit.
Yeah.
Those are going to go into some kind of otter box or some kind of like transport situation, put it in the truck. We're going to load it up. We'll drive down to the location, unpack the camera gear, film the episode.
Just that portion of the episode when we're actually at the snow.
Right, the snow segment on location. We're going to probably finish up, pack the gear up, and then come back and finish it.
Right.
I think the viewers will probably understand if we just cut to that clip that that's what's happened. We don't really need to give them a whole preface about it.
I mean, it is common knowledge, but there's a lot of people out there that don't understand quite how movies work, or shows in our case. So it is important to, being the critics that we are, be fully transparent in what exactly we're doing. I don't want to lead them on that we're actually just stepping outside in San Francisco and seeing snow there. We're actually going on a 10-hour drive with the camera gear. This will be shut down. We're not going to leave it running. And then we'll show up at the snow, and which is going to be the clip that we cut to in just a second here.
Right. No, I agree with that. I think transparency is important. So when they do see a clip of us and we're not going to be on this yellow backdrop at that juncture, we will probably actually be outside. So I guess that's just as a warning to the viewers.
Yep.
That's not immediately after this. There is some time elapsed between this end of this segment and the beginning of the next segment.
Right. So the episode that they're watching right now will be a total of 3 segments. It'll be this intro part that we're recording for 1. When we actually get to the snow is number 2. And then we'll do our final review and analysis at the end, number 3.
I can totally see that. I agree. But also, I would like to say, just as a note, let's not limit ourselves to just 3 segments. If we want to add something later, we should be flexible.
Okay.
But as of now,
that's what's in my head.
3.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's cut to the clip.
And here we are.
This is it. This is snow. We're out here in, where are we? Twin Peaks, California?
Yeah, and you know what that makes me think of?
What?
My favorite movie, Twins, with Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger. I don't know a lot about movies, but that's a really good movie.
I didn't even know that was a movie. I've never seen it.
Yeah, it's funny because they're 2 different sized men, but they play twin brothers.
Okay.
Directed by Ivan Reitman.
This episode is about snow, and we just drove about 10 hours to the snow. This is it. It is beautiful out here. I'll give it that. And it's cold.
Yeah. It looks like powdered sugar. I almost want to eat it.
Well, I wouldn't do that. Let me just. Yeah, it's too cold. Well, while we're here, so what's the big things with snow? There's snowmen.
Snowmen. You can go
snowball
skiing,
fights.
Snowball fight.
I wouldn't want to do that. It's too cold.
Snow cone.
And
I'd love to learn more about snow.
Well, we can just look it up online.
Okay. Sorry, I was sleeping in the car on the drive down. I should have did this before.
It's okay. Okay. It says here, snow refers to forms of the ice crystals that precipitate from the atmosphere, usually from clouds, and undergo changes on the Earth's surface.
Wow.
It pertains to frozen crystalline water throughout its life cycle, starting when, under suitable conditions, the ice crystals form in the atmosphere, increase to millimeter size, precipitate, and accumulate on surfaces, then metamorphose. What's that one? Metamorphose in place and ultimately melt, slide, or sublimate away.
Wow.
That's probably enough on that.
That's pretty cool. Literally.
It is cold. I thought maybe we would go snowboarding or skiing while we're out here. It was a bit of a long drive, but I'm honestly too cold. It has to be very cold for snow to form, as we just read, but
I don't have a thermometer, but it's got to be at least 0 degrees out here. It's freezing cold.
Yeah.
I've never felt this before in my life.
It's not the best feeling, but it is beautiful, and I could see why people would want to go snowboarding, but I don't know if this is enough, actually.
Yeah. I didn't even bring my board.
Yeah.
Well.
I'm ready to go if you are.
I'm good. It's freezing cold, dude. If you'll take that.
Yep. Dude, this is freezing.
I know. Yeah. Thank you for driving, though. I appreciate it. I don't have my license right now.
It's okay. I am a bit tight on the gas money, but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
Oh, a little bit scary. I don't know if
Uh-oh. I don't want to get caught in a snowbank. Do you have chains?
Yeah.
Cool.
That's the one thing I heard before. Can you see any cars coming that way?
No, you're clear.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I would like to have stayed longer, but it's just way too cold.
I feel like we got our money's worth. I didn't really spend any of my own.
Okay, that was our snow clip that we jumped to. We're now back in the studio. This is roughly 24 hours later. We had to drive 10 hours there and 10 hours back, plus we made a few stops along the way.
I'm sorry I drank all that water, but I just
It's okay. No, I had to go too. Yeah, it definitely has to be cold for snow to be around, I guess, for it to stick to the ground.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely think that was a cool trip.
Yeah, it was cool cold. I had a fun time too. Like, it was beautiful looking at the kind of fallen snow as we were making our journey to see it. It's not quite what I imagined from the movie or what I remember as a kid, but it was a unique thing to see, especially being a San Franciscan. It's not something I see every day.
I would agree with that. I was impressed, definitely, with the entire thing, and it was fun. It was really it's kind of a miracle that white snow can just come out of nowhere. It's almost like
Well,
magic.
it comes out of the clouds, but yeah.
Well, it feels
essentially,
like it feels magical in a
yeah.
way.
So being your first time in the snow, was it what you imagined it would be?
I mean, to be honest with you, looking at that snow, I almost thought that, Frosty himself was going to come to life out of the snow. It was, you could really feel the sense of, nature's wonder when you're looking at it.
Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful. And I was very impressed overall. I think that, I wish we had prepared a little better and
Oh, absolutely.
maybe gotten some gloves or something on the way there. Instead, although we did get a good discount because we did end up buying these gloves back here in San Francisco.
Yeah. These would have been great to have out there.
I agree. Probably should have had them.
But I think this is one, kind of why people watch review shows, and two, fundamental part of learning. You make mistakes in life, you find out that it actually is too cold to just go out in your regular everyday clothes in snow. You do have to prepare and buy a warm jacket and gloves. Now we can let the viewers know that if you're going to the snow, you do want to have at least gloves on and a jacket. It is cold. It has to be cold for the snow to not melt.
So, not to cut you off, go ahead.
Oh, you can go ahead.
I would also like to say I would recommend some kind of closed-toe shoe, something that's going to cover up the majority of your foot. That's something I didn't really think about before we went on the trip, and I don't want to correct you. I don't believe in correcting you because your opinion is just as valid as mine. But something I might disagree with is I wouldn't call it a mistake to go down there without the proper attire, gloves, and kind of warmer clothing. I'd say it was a learning experience for us to kind of figure out what we need to do next time.
Well, I think that it was a mistake, and I don't think that it's I don't want to be dismissive of your thought just now, but it's a dangerous thing to put out there that mistakes are bad. I think you make mistakes and then you learn from them. So it was a learning experience, but it started with a mistake. Because honestly, when I stepped out of the car and felt how cold it had to be for snow to stick to the ground, I was not too thrilled. It was freezing. I couldn't feel my toes, and while it was beautiful, I just found that I wanted to be warm to fully appreciate it.
That's true. I guess something that is also interesting to note that maybe the viewers will find valuable is snow is one of those things that maybe is best left to the experts, and it's beautiful, but maybe like us, you can view it on TV or in art or something like that. You don't necessarily have to go touch it yourself to figure out that it is beautiful, and it is actually pretty wonderful that it exists.
Oh yeah, I think there are a lot of experts out there. One being Sean White.
Absolutely, the flying tomato.
Yeah, he's got a lot of hair on his head I'm sure just for the fact of it keeps his ears warm.
Sure.
Well,
he did get a haircut though. Did you notice that during the previous Olympics?
No, I did not.
Much shorter, and I think that may have been a factor for his poor performance. Not to talk bad about Mr. White.
Yeah, no, I'm sure he was giving it his best, but simply just didn't come out on top this time. I don't know if the hair had a fact. Oh, it could have very well if it didn't keep him as warm as maybe his first Olympics.
True.
But he is a professional. He knows what he's dealing with when it comes to snow and snowboarding. And there's also many other people that work in snow and lots of animals that have evolved to be used to snow and thrive in it. I personally didn't see much wildlife while we were out there. I think if we had gone to the snow place in another time of year when it was a little bit warmer, perhaps we would have seen some deer, bear, other
possible
type of
I really don't know what kind of animals live there.
I don't either, but I'm just imagining.
It's fun to imagine.
It is. But this is the snow episode, so should we kind of get into it? Start our review?
Yeah, I guess so. Let's go ahead.
Sorry. Okay. Well,
so overall, I would say, to get into the review portion of the show, I really enjoyed the snow. I think it was beautiful. I liked the crisp white color of it. The fact that it is just crystalline water that falls from the sky.
Yep.
Is miraculous, and I really don't even understand how it works, so we might have to dig deeper into that.
It has to do with the colder weather.
Okay.
It's otherwise it'd be rain.
I would have to read up onto that, but I do trust that you know what you're talking about.
I read a brief bit about it while we were there, but
yeah, I mean that was just kind of a glimpse. I don't feel like we got a full picture of it, but I digress. Anyways, in short, I enjoyed the snow. Do I need to go see it again? I'm not sure about that, just because of the discomforting elements of being cold, not having some kind of jacket or parka to wear to keep me warm, which probably would buy if we were to ever revisit it. But in all, I think it was pretty amazing, and again, just the idea that comes from nowhere is pretty amazing. So I'll have to give it an A+.
Yeah. I guess I'm less worried about visiting in the future now that we have a little bit more snow gear after learning from our mistake.
Well, it's a learning experience, not a mistake.
A learning experience started from a mistake, but it's so beautiful to see. Movies don't really do it justice. You don't really grasp how cold it is to actually touch it, and I think that is part of the experience. It kind of detracted from it for me, just being how cold it was, but I could see if I had a glove on when I touched it, maybe the texture would be a little more fun. There's a lot of activities to explore in the snow, such as snowboarding, skiing is another one, and
bobsled.
Yep. those are all great snow activities that I assume would be fun to try. Maybe we could touch on those in a later episode. The reason any of those exist and the Winter Olympics exists, which is fun to watch, is because of snow. And I think that's a miracle. It's beautiful under a microscope. There's so many different kinds of styles and patterns that they make. The idea of snow brings a sense of, despite it being cold, it brings a sense of warmth and cozy feeling, because I am reminded of like a winter fire. So with that all being said, I too will have to give it an A+.
Wow.
And that's kind of all I have to say on the subject. I had a fun drive, I think.
Yeah, it was a little less fun for me. I wish your heater had been working the whole time.
That I do apologize for. It worked the other week just fine. I don't know what happened, but I think since we kept the windows up most of the time, we were able to generate some heat in there. But
A little bit, but then, we're eating this different kind of snacks on the drive. It wasn't, I don't want to get into it. I'd had a fun time too, but maybe don't eat as many Slim Jims next time because, well, anyways, it would not smell too good.
Well, I apologize for my snack choice. If you would have driven, maybe I could have focused on maybe a less hand-friendly treat. I think I narrowed myself down to a Slim Jim because it's easy to hold and drive at the same time.
Sure. I apologize. I told you before I don't have my license right now. So it's going to be an issue for me because I'm sorry. I feel like this is getting really negative. Let's get back to the,
okay, yeah.
to the task at hand.
I apologize for bringing that up.
I apologize too.
But yeah.
And I did have a good time.
Thank you. I had a good time too. And that's kind of it for snow. Be sure to follow us on our social media accounts. The handle's going to be somewhere around here. Leave a comment, like, and subscribe if you want. And that's been Everyone's a Critic for this week. We'll see you next time. We sure do love you. God bless.
Bye-bye. God bless.